All right, so get this, you guys. Today we're diving into a real head scratcher.
Oh, I love a good
All
mystery.
right, this is the story of Rodrigo.
Okay.
He's a young guy, lives in this mountain town, and ends up in like a seriously crazy situation during a massive storm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, someone sent us this online story about it.
I think I read that one.
Oh yeah, it was intense, right?
Totally.
So many twists and turns.
Yeah, it was one of those where, like, you just had to know what happened next.
Exactly. So the whole thing starts on this super gray afternoon.
Oh, okay.
You can like almost feel this heavy air hanging over the town.
Oh, I get it. Like, it's just oppressive, you know?
Yeah, totally. And Rodrigo, he's like in his early 20s, kind of a thoughtful guy, likes to go for walks to think.
Yeah.
And he's walking across this old iron bridge,
Okay.
a spot he goes to a lot.
To clear his head?
Yeah, exactly. Find some peace and quiet.
Nice.
But on this particular day, something's off.
Different.
Yeah. Like that feeling you get right before storm hits.
Ooh, I know that feeling.
And in this case, like literally.
Okay.
Because all of a sudden, this crazy storm just explodes.
Wow.
Like out of nowhere.
That's scary.
I know. We're talking torrential rain.
Oh, man.
Kind that like stings when it hits you.
Yeah.
And the river under the bridge
Yeah.
turns into this raging torrent.
Whoa.
And Rodrigo, lost in his thoughts, he doesn't realize the danger
Oh.
until it's too late.
Oh, no. What happened?
He loses his footing, and he's suddenly hanging onto the edge of this rickety old bridge.
No way.
The water is roaring right beneath him.
Oh, my God. That is terrifying.
Can you even imagine that fear?
It sends shivers down my spine just thinking about it.
Right. It's like a primal fear.
Totally. To be that close to being swept away like that.
I know. And the story puts you right there with him feeling that vulnerability.
Yeah, it does a really good job of that.
So just when it seems like all hope is lost, this figure appears.
A figure.
Yeah, on the other side of the bridge.
Like a person.
The story describes him as a man in simple clothes.
Okay.
But what's really weird is this sense of calm he has.
Calm.
Yeah, even with this crazy storm raging around him.
Like he's not bothered at all.
Right. It's like the chaos doesn't even touch him.
That's bizarre.
I know, right? Almost like he doesn't even notice the downpour, the danger.
That's so strange.
And in this whole crazy scene, all he says to Rodrigo is, "Take my hand."
Wow.
Just like that. A simple offer, but with so much meaning behind it.
Yeah, I bet.
Because for Rodrigo, it's life or death.
Totally.
Does he trust this stranger?
Yeah. This like beacon of calm in this crazy storm.
I know, right? So
Oh.
much to think about.
Definitely. It's crazy, right? You've got this guy hanging on for dear life, and he
Yeah.
takes the man's hand, and he's like pulled up
Yeah.
with this incredible
I
strength.
think it was nothing.
Yeah. The story even says it's like almost effortless.
Right. Like this guy's superhuman or something.
Definitely adds to the mystery surrounding this figure.
And then, get this. As soon as Rodrigo is safe,
Yeah.
the guy vanishes.
Oh, come on.
Like poof, gone.
That's so weird.
Can you imagine?
It's like something out of a movie.
Right. First you're about to die, then you're rescued by this mystery man, and then he disappears.
It would mess you up.
Totally. Like what even happened?
Exactly.
So afterwards, Rodrigo has a hard time like making sense of it all.
Yeah, I bet.
Like trying to fit this crazy experience into his normal life.
I can see that.
His family and friends try to explain it away logically.
What did they say?
Oh, like maybe it was just a really strong hiker passing by, or maybe the storm messed with his perception.
Like he didn't see things clearly.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
But Rodrigo, he just knows something bigger happened.
It's like he can't shake this feeling.
Right. Something that can't be explained away easily.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Especially when you go through something that intense.
Yeah. Like your whole worldview is challenged.
Absolutely. It's like you're caught between two worlds. The world we think we know,
Yeah.
based on logic and reason.
Yeah, the everyday world.
And then this other world.
Where things are possible that we don't even understand.
Right. And it makes you question, like, how much can we trust our own senses?
Yeah, like even our own intuition when it goes against everything we've been taught.
That's a tough one for sure.
It's like, do we ignore these experiences?
The ones that don't fit in?
Yeah, or do we let them change our minds about what's possible?
It's a big question.
So, Rodrigo, he starts looking for answers.
Where did he look?
In faith.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, he starts thinking maybe this guy who saved him was an angel.
An angel.
Yeah.
That's a powerful image.
Right. Like this idea that there are these forces out there looking out for us.
Even if we don't get them.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people find comfort in that idea.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, we're not alone.
Especially when things get tough.
Yeah.
It's interesting, right? Are these angel stories just metaphors,
Yeah.
or is there really something more to it?
Like a whole other reality we don't understand.
Right. What do you think?
I don't know. It's hard to say. But regardless of what you believe,
Yeah,
what's amazing is how much Rodrigo's belief changed him.
totally. Like, whether it was a real angel or just a really powerful idea,
Hmm.
it completely shifted his perspective.
He saw the world differently.
Yeah. And he started appreciating every day more.
Like he was given a second chance.
Exactly. And that change in how he saw things,
Yeah.
it like spilled over into his actions too.
What do you mean?
Well, the story says he became super dedicated to helping other people.
Like he was paying it forward.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost like even though he went through something so scary,
Hmm.
it made him a better person.
You know, it's like that saying,
What's that?
what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Right. But it also brings up this other question.
Okay.
Can a belief, even if you can't prove it,
Hmm.
still make a positive impact on your life?
That's a good question. It's like the placebo effect. Sometimes just believing something will help you is enough to make a real difference.
So could the same thing be true about believing in something bigger than ourselves?
Like a guiding force in the universe.
Exactly. It makes you think about those stories about miraculous recoveries.
Yeah.
Or those crazy coincidences that seem impossible.
Like, were they just luck or is something else going on?
I know, right? Something we can't explain, but that's shaping our reality.
That's what I love about these kinds of stories.
Mm-hmm.
They force you to look beyond the surface
Yeah,
and consider that there might be more to the world than we realize.
I love that. It's all about staying curious, right?
Yeah.
Keeping an open mind about the mystery.
Even when it makes us uncomfortable.
Exactly. Reminds me of that Carl Sagan quote,
Which one?
the one about something incredible waiting to be known.
Oh, yeah, I love that one.
So maybe by being open to the mystery.
And acknowledging that we don't know everything,
Yeah,
we can actually make those incredible discoveries happen.
that's a great point. Now, before we get too deep into the meaning of it all,
Yeah.
let's hear from you, the listener.
Right. What do you think about all this?
What parts of Rodrigo's story really stick with you?
And has this got you thinking about any weird experiences you've had?
We'd love to hear your thoughts. One story, so many things to think about.
I know, it's really something.
And you know what's really sticking with me?
Yeah.
Maybe the most unexplainable thing isn't the event itself.
What do you mean?
Like, what if it's the change in Rodrigo after?
Oh, that's interesting. So you're saying it's less about proving the angel thing
Right.
and more about how these kinds of experiences can change someone.
Exactly. Like, forget whether you believe in angels or not.
Mm-hmm.
There's no denying that what happened changed how he saw the world.
And his values.
Yeah, his whole outlook on life.
It's like he hit a reset button.
Totally. Like his old way of seeing things was shattered.
And something new took its place.
Yeah, and that's where things get really interesting.
How so?
Because if we stop arguing about what's real or not, we can start to see what these transformative experiences have in common.
Yeah, there's a whole field of study about that. It's
Mhm.
called transpersonal psychology.
Okay.
And it looks at experiences that go beyond the normal everyday self.
Like what?
Well, think about near-death experiences
Okay.
or mystical visions.
Right.
Even those moments when you have a sudden creative breakthrough,
Mm-hmm.
they often share these common elements,
Like what?
like a feeling of being connected to everything
Right.
or a sense of awe and wonder.
Right.
And they usually lead to some kind of personal growth.
So Rodrigo's story, even though it sounds unbelievable,
Yeah.
it could just be a small example of this bigger human thing.
You mean this thing about encountering the extraordinary?
Yeah, and how it changes how we see ourselves in the world.
I think that's a great way to look at it.
It helps us understand the story on a deeper level.
Yeah, one that recognizes the power of belief.
And the potential for change when we experience something that challenges us. And maybe by understanding what happens in our minds and spirits when we have these encounters.
We can start to appreciate how amazing human consciousness really is.
It's like we're more than just logic and reason.
Right. There are all these parts of ourselves we're just starting to discover.
And maybe
Yeah.
reality itself is much bigger than we think.
It all comes back to that sense of wonder, doesn't it?
It does.
We have to stay curious and open to the unknown.
Embrace those mysteries.
Exactly.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Mm-hmm.
I hope you're feeling that curiosity too.
Yeah, and maybe a little inspired to explore the unexplained in your own life.
Because it's in those moments of wonder
When we encounter something truly extraordinary,
that we learn the most about ourselves and the world around us.
and you never know.
What?
Maybe if we stay open to the mystery,
Yeah.
we might just invite those life-changing experiences to happen.
Well said on that note. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the unexplained.
See you next time.